Hello, everyone. This is Monica Parashare from St. Helenas 2001 batch, and I'm doing a video podcast with my classmates. Today, I'm here with SUHANI Jain. Welcome, SUHANI.
Hey Monica, how are you?
Doing good. And you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So, where are you these days?
I'm in Novi, Michigan, Detroit area of United States.
Okay, okay. All right. So, honey, let's jump in. Let's jump right into the podcast and start by catching up with you. And I'm really looking forward to knowing how you've evolved from school. So let's start with school. How was school for you? What did you relate the most to in school?
My memories of school, oh my God, there are too many. But trying to remember how I was in school, I think I had no clear direction of what I wanted to. I mean, just listening to your previous podcast, a lot of you were pretty much, at least had a head start, which way you guys wanted to head forward towards, rather what were you looking forward for. But for me, it was pretty much just free flowing.
Mhm,
Lived in a joint family. So I have a cousin who's older than me. And
mhm,
so she was one that I always looked up to.
mhm,
And my parents have, both of them have a background in a pharmacy degree. So I knew one thing, that I wanted to do something in the science field,
mhm,
but there was not like a clear direction. And at school, I think I enjoyed participating in all the activities, like let it be from sport to the craft and all of the things that we did at school. I loved singing too, but thanks to my beautiful voice, I was never a part of the choir, never got chosen for that. But other
mhm.
than that, I think I really enjoyed my school days and being around everyone. So it was nice.
Okay. And on what note did you end school?
I mean, it was a very happy note. So I was very satisfied with whatever I scored in my 10th. And and like had all beautiful memories of school.
Okay, so how did you transition in college? What college did you choose and why? Which field did you choose?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, like I thought kuch to science mein karna hai. So anyways, I did well. I got through Ferguson College, like
Mhm,
exact cutoff pay I got into Ferguson College. Picked up science. 11th was great. 12th,
mhm.
I failed terribly. So itna shameful tha 12th standard, don't ask. So I mean, yeah, and then I had to drift away from science because jo mila tha, I couldn't continue with that.
Mhm,
And I mean, I did not have a very great liking for commerce.
mhm.
And so then I drifted to arts.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I finished off my bachelor's degree in arts, and that's how it all continued. And I mean, I finished it off everything in Ferguson College.
Okay. Then why did you choose arts? Like when you shifted, what was your motivation?
As such, there was no motivation because, as I said, I did not like commerce at all. Rather,
Mhm,
accounting and all, I think, was not a part of something that I wanted to be. And then,
mhm.
like, just failing in science, the only other option left was like arts, like at least just let's continue with arts and then we'll think about what other options do I have to, look
Right.
forward to. So that way I
Okay.
just picked up arts, and then on the side I picked up like a Montessori course. I finished that, and then got became a part of a dance group. So we participated in a lot of inter-college and state level dance competitions. So that was something that I really liked and I was fond of. So like just because I mean like just doing arts, which and then I just started like probably doing things that I really like doing, enjoy doing. So that's
Mhm.
how I just grouped everything together.
Okay. And so what were you planning to do with arts or while doing arts? What were you aiming at?
Aiming at,
Like,
I mean, like at that time, I probably was just thinking, probably I could just pick up like a teacher's job or something somewhere,
mhm,
as I really did not have a clear focus. So, yeah, I mean, while I finished my Montessori, finished off my graduation, and then I applied for a job at our school, St.
mhm,
Helenas.
mhm,
And then Miss Samuel interviewed me, and then she was the principal then. So got the job right away, and then I started working at school.
mhm.
So it was
And,
nice. I
and
mean,
so after your graduation in arts, you started working in school directly. Is that it?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
And for what subjects did you prep yourself for?
Yes,
What?
so because it was just a Montessori school course, which was like a year. It wasn't like a full term 4-year teacher's course. So I started like an assistant teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So I was my first year I was assisting in the first standard with
Mm-hmm.
Miss Atri and working besides Miss Khan. I just remember Miss Khan being the teacher like ever since. I have the
Mm-hmm.
memories of seeing her at school.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Mrs. Timothy, Mrs. Betty. So it was it was just wonderful working with all of those teachers. And
Mm-hmm.
this time it was a different perspective because I was on the other side of the fence.
Right.
Like earlier, you would always look up to these teachers as, your teachers. You would have a kind of a fear for them or, certain level of respect. But now working with them as a part of their team, the
Mm-hmm.
respect had grown much, much more, but it
Mm-hmm.
was just a different outlook towards teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just wonderful, like just being part of the whole planning team, like, okay, this week we're going to cover this, or even like just this tiniest things, like how do you really reach out to the child? Like, because I was an assistant teacher, so I wasn't really doing the lessons, but then I would
Mm-hmm.
take up like the smaller group lessons, like probably just getting the one-on-ones, like
Mm-hmm.
even the simplest thing of correcting books, because I remember when we used to get our notebooks back from school being corrected with all those red marks or even the good comments, the bad comments, it really affected us. So now when I was correcting them and giving it back, just trying to think about, okay, how are the kids going to take it when we used to receive it?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very different experience. Then in my second year, I was working with Mrs. Henderson. I don't know if you remember her. I was
I,
so scared of her
she
throughout the
was my
school
class
life.
teacher. And I
Oh,
loved
she
her.
was?
Yeah. In imports in third standard, she was my class teacher, and I loved her.
Yes. But I was always scared of her just because of her personality, But then when I was working with her and Miss Sheikh was my class teacher in the third standard. So, Miss Henderson was never my class teacher, but just her personality. But she was so much fun to be with. It really just changed how I looked up to teachers, and it just created such a great bond. Like I still connect, or rather I am still in touch with all of those teachers, like even today, like after so long. So that was like a great part of my life. So I do cherish
And
those.
what did it change in your perspective of a teacher, like, or your definition of a teacher? What did it change for you? Like, what was before and after the job? What did you start thinking? Like, what was the change?
Like earlier, we would like, okay, probably I would say till fourth standard, fifth standard, we would have the same teacher for the whole day. And then later on, we would have teachers who would switch in and out. So at least till the elementary school, we had that great connection with our teachers, and, it was more of a bonding kind of a thing. But there was always that distance. But when I started working with them, you really see in all the efforts they really put in. Like earlier as a student, you don't see all those efforts. But working with them, it's not just those 8 or 9 hours in school, like, going home, making those charts, preparing for the lessons, preparing for the test, because I remember writing those test papers myself. So it is a lot of effort put in, which we really don't realize as students, that what really the teachers do put in. It's not just the fun part or for them being strict, we really don't understand what all things do they go throughout their day. So, that was a different perspective, and that's how it all changed.
Okay. So then you were happy with how it turned out, that eventually from science you switched to arts and you started working in school, and you spent, I don't know, how many years did you do at school?
Yeah, I worked there for like 2 years.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
I
a long
worked
time.
there for 2 years, and then I got married. And yeah, I quit my job then. I thought, let's just take a break. Let's settle into the new phase, and then we'll figure out what to do.
Right.
Yeah. So then I think I didn't go back to school then. And 2010, eventually we moved to US.
Okay.
So then it was like a whole new beginning again from the scratch.
So what has that been like?
Uh, so my husband was already into our family business in India. So
Okay.
when we moved back to US in 2010, he was going to finish his graduation and then he was going to look for a job. So initially it was like, oh, Phil, फिर से college life enjoy कर रहे. He's enjoying his college. I'm enjoying his campus and all of that. So it was a pretty relaxed, it was a long vacation actually for both of us. So that time we didn't do, but then he got a job and then we moved to Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania, where we lived in, was like one Khedegao of India. It was like the city that we were living in. It was like, oh my God, kaha gaye? You bolne ke liye United States, but it's like one Khedegao.
Right.
So, and like when you come to US and it's like a visa issue, right? Your visa status. So my husband had the work visa, but I was his dependent, so I wasn't really allowed to work. So for me, it was more like just staying home and I mean, probably just exploring what I wanted to do. Because I think I was more reluctant. I didn't want to study that time after that break. Or rather, I didn't have enough courage, as Arnival said in our podcast. I didn't have enough courage to really take up something new and just start all over again. And then at that point, probably even we were planning our family. So I think it wasn't, it wasn't really on my cards to take up education at that time. So I think for 6 years, I really didn't work anywhere because we had 2 kids. And even as I said, my visa status, it didn't allow me. So 2016, I got my work permit.
Okay.
Yeah. And then with a BA degree and just a Montessori course, you really don't get much here.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a struggle to find something. And especially with my background, where I really didn't have much experience. We were looking around for what. And then my husband said, no, Suhani, you can do it. Just go ahead. Just try it out. So then I started working at a company called Assurance Solutions. So they deal with, there's a carrier called T-Mobile up here, cell phone carrier. So they deal with their insurance and everything. So I started at like a very basic position up there. But gradually I started enjoying it. And then like within 2 or 3 months, I reached out to my supervisor and I said, I want something more. I want to grow. So he started throwing challenges at me and I really did well at that. And like within 6 months, I was promoted to the team lead position.
Wow.
I mean, that is like a big confidence boost for me. After 6 years also, I can do it.
Yeah. And
So,
what kind of challenges were those?
I mean, just like he was probably just training me for the team lead position. So it was like a company where we used to get in cell phones. You have to check in for the cell phones and then you really monitor them well. Like, if it needs to go to any repairs or anything, and we had a team of like 23 people. So where you have to manage your hourly count, like if your team members are meeting the goals, if not, all of those kind of things. So slowly, gradually, he was training me on all these different perspectives, because we used to have our meetings in the morning where you present all your data. Like how did your team perform the last night? And then you have, because you have to answer T-Mobile, right? Your customer. So that way, and that was really great. And then after the promotion, we had a whole software change. So I took it up, I offered like, I'm ready to learn the whole thing and I will train the whole team on it. So that was like another challenge because I had no computer knowledge. Like as Arnimal said, like school mein kya sikhaya tha computers ka? Kuch nahi. And 6 years being home and like with 2 kids, I really didn't do much. So just learning of the whole process, training the whole team was, I felt it was like a big, big achievement for myself.
I'm sure it is. After 6 years, if you're jumping in an activity, you're able to handle some challenges and be promoted in 6 months. I think that's great. It's already a reactivity which a lot of people don't have. So yeah, but I'm interested to know a little bit of how you went through the change. What was the sector of your family business?
So my father he has a pharmacy shop in India.
Okay. Okay.
And my
And you were
husband was,
not interested in handling anything of your family business.
I mean, I wanted to do something in science. But anyways, you can't do much without a degree, right?
No, handling
So
a business has nothing to do with science. It's pure business management. So I'm asking,
yes,
it
but
never
then just
interested
having the
you
knowledge,
to.
right? Like with a pharmacy shop, in
Mhm,
India, like just having the knowledge of all those medicines and everything.
mhm,
So probably I don't think I was ready for it. Like, and after not doing really good in the 12th, I was like kind of discouraged and
mhm.
didn't really want to do that.
Okay, so you didn't want to take up your family business. Okay.
No, I didn't want to.
Okay. And
And
when you. Mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
Yeah,
And.
yeah. And then what my husband was doing was more on the engineering side. Like they were into glass facades,
Mhm,
windows installation for into
mhm,
construction and everything.
mhm,
So even that wasn't something that I was interested in.
mhm. Of course. I can
Yeah.
I say of course because I can understand like why would he want to jump right in and do what he's doing. I get that. So how was your transition to the US? Like those in those 6 years culturally, how was it to be there? First of all, you were away from your family, you were in a new country, you were not working, and normally you're used to it because like you did a school job before. So was it challenging to to have that situation? What were your thoughts and confusions and or realizations in that time?
Yeah. The initial 6, 8 months, as I said, was a good vacation. It was no responsibility. Kuch nahi, get up at 10 in the morning, sleep at whenever you want. No restrictions, no in-laws around. So it was a good vacation for me that time. But after we had kids and we moved to Pennsylvania and then we had kids. So
Mhm,
sometime I had help, but then it
mhm,
was crazy just to manage everything all by yourself.
mhm,
And a daughter was born in 2012. My
mhm.
son was born as a surprise in 2013. So they both
Okay.
are like exactly a year apart.
Mhm,
So it was a very, very big challenge. But
mhm,
I think I was happy staying home
mhm,
and not working because
mhm,
I was able to enjoy the whole childhood, you know, like all each and every milestones of there, like
mhm.
which most of us really don't get a chance to. Like even
Right.
in India, when I hear a lot of you talk, like everybody
Mhm,
is running on the clock.
right.
So there are all these things which you really miss out on.
Mhm,
So in a way, I felt lucky enough that
mhm,
I wasn't allowed to work or my work authorization was not done as yet because I was able
mhm,
to stay home with them
mhm,
and be a part of enjoy the whole childhood.
mhm,
And like being from India and I'm really very religious. So for me, it was very, very important to give my children those values so
mhm,
they understand like why do we follow it. Like I'm still a vegetarian, so why are
mhm,
we a vegetarian?
mhm,
So I was able to do all of that being home with them.
mhm,
And then one motivation to work was like 2014 I lost my mom
mhm.
when my son was just a year old, my daughter was 2 years old. So it was
Sorry to
like,
hear that.
yeah, it was a big, big bummer. It was like, I mean, I'm still struggling to get over it. But
Mhm,
2016, when I got my work visa,
mhm,
that was one motivation that I have to get out of this depression.
mhm,
Just going back to work, learning all those new things, and then just asking for more and more challenges.
mhm,
That is how I really wanted to get out of it. Because being home, like my husband had crazy work hours. He would leave like 5 and 6 in the morning. He would come at 8 in the night.
mhm,
So just being alone with two kids, like holding them with both hands, both of them crying out, and where you want to cry out yourself
mhm,
to get out of that whole situation,
mhm.
working was really important.
It's good that you saw it that way. And was it easy to get house help and sort of ensure that the kids are taken care of while you're away at work, or was it challenging?
Now, I'll tell you what I did. So my
Yeah.
husband used to work Monday to Friday. And the job that I picked up, I used to work Friday through Sunday.
Okay. Okay.
So we worked it out that way. And I started working when my daughter was in preschool. So she was 3 years old. My daughter was 4 years old and my son was 3 years old. They both were going to preschool like just 2 or 3 hours in a day. So Monday to Thursday, I was available for them. And then Friday, my husband would manage it off. And then Saturday, Sunday, he would be home with them. I would leave at like 5:30 in the morning, making dinner, lunch, dinner, everything for them, because I would come back. I was working like 12-hour shifts, 6 to 6:30. I would make sure everything's done and then I would leave. So, I mean, life's all been a struggle, but yeah, at that point I was satisfied with, and the results that I was getting, I was really happy with myself. Like, no, I'm doing something for myself.
Wow. It's really something to pick up shifts on weekends, when also weekend is the same only time your husband is at home and you take off. I think it's wonderful if it worked for you, and it's wonderful if he was able to also learn a lot of things, because I think those 3 days that he must have had the kids, he must have got a tiny shot of what you are taking care
Yes,
of
yes,
in
yes.
the whole week. So
Yes. Even he got a share of all the love.
let's
That's
call
how
it
I
that.
call it.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's call it that. But no, all the love and also the challenge, taking care of kids requires tremendous amount of energy. So physical energy, and of course, mentally you need to be on place. You can't just take off. So
Yeah.
it is
I mean,
challenging.
I worked with Assurant for like 2.5 years. So those 2.5 years were kind of a struggle, but it worked out in the benefit of our kids, which I think at that point was more important.
Right. And then how did that end? Like, why did you end that job and what did you transition into?
So my husband picked up a corporate job in the same company. He got promoted. So the corporate job came with 3 challenges. One was a move of location.
Okay.
Second, it would be better hours, but that would require him to travel as in he would be out Monday through Friday. He would just be home on the weekends. And then I had to end the job that I was totally in love with.
Wow.
But yeah, we took it. We moved to Novi, Michigan, where I am right now. So we moved here in 2019. So the move was good. Like this is like a really, really good city. We have a lot of Indians around. Indian stores are around. Yummy Indian food, so that I don't miss from India. But yeah, it was like, again, a new beginning, starting from the scratch again, because I didn't have a very great degree from India. And the 2.5 years of experience that I had at Assurant was good enough for my confidence. But to find a similar job up here was like another challenge for me.
Right.
And then taking also into consideration that my husband was going to be out of town like Monday through Friday. So trying to combine all of that and then trying to find a job was really difficult. Yeah. So the first 2 months were like, oh my God, kuch nahi ho raha hai, like giving so many interviews, but nothing's really working out. And I mean, nobody else was pressurizing, but I felt pressurized myself. Because you've been working for so long and you feel, oh my God, you were doing so good up there. And then you're trying to rethink your decision. Like, is the move really good? Or, should we have just stayed there for some more time? But then I picked up a local job at Walmart up here in the asset protection department. And then I thought, okay, let's just try this out. And then meanwhile, I was just searching for something else, something that would suit me better.
So how did that go? What were you doing at Walmart?
At Walmart, asset protection was more like, it was theft protection. So you want to just make sure that, because Walmart is huge. And the customers that Walmart caters is like it's a very big, a bandwidth. Like, like people, like even like the poorest people to the richest people would come to Walmart. So it's huge. Just to make sure that, like things, like even those little things, like they have all these alarms and these security tapes and everything. Or you want to make sure that when people are leaving their carts, they've paid everything and all of that kind of thing. So I would receive a lot of resistance from people when you are trying to check whether they've paid for everything, when you're trying to scan the receipt, and people would make those frustrated faces at you. Like obviously, when they've had a long day, they're coming to shop here, and then before leaving, you're trying to give them a budget. Oh, please show me everything that when everything's fine and you've checked out properly and all of that. So it was fine, it wasn't very exciting or something that I really wanted to do, but I just didn't want to leave the job because first of all, I didn't have much experience. And then if you have a lot of gaps in your resume, people really don't want to hire you because then they question your gaps. So because I already had such a big, long gap, and then the 2.5 years of experience, and then taking another long gap would just have been more questionable.
Right.
And I really wasn't interested or keen into studying again. So that was that was like the last option.
That was a big motivation.
Yeah, that was my last option. Like, okay, if nothing is going to work out, then I'm going to study. Let's just try to learn.
I understand.
Yeah. So I think within a month, I was promoted again at Walmart. And I was like a department manager. And things were just going on. Like, okay, I'm not enjoying it much. So things were just going on. And then this was 2019, where, COVID had already hit China. And it was coming to India, and then it came to US in March. So and our visa was in the renewal process. Like we have to get our visas renewed every 3 years, the work permit and everything. So it was into process, and it was taking, it still is taking like a long time to really have your visa renewed or your work permit back. So I had to stop working at Walmart because I didn't have my work permit had expired. So I was home for like 2 months, which in a way was good and bad because it really gave me time to rethink about really what I wanted to do and just explore my options again. So those 2 months were like, like trying to find another job, trying to find something better, and really things were not working out. Then I thought, okay, let's just give a try in a school again. Maybe the experience at Helenas would work out or something. So I did go interview at a school. They were ready to offer me a job. And while I could work up there as well as finish off my teacher's education, like a 4-year degree that you have, but I could finish it off while I was teaching there. So I didn't have to really take a break.
Right.
Yeah. But unfortunately, for accepting the job, I had to show them my transcripts from India. And because of COVID, all the Pune University was shut down. So it took me over 8 months to get my transcripts from Pune University.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm talking about September 2019. And like the whole process, getting those transcripts in US up here, it took me like almost June or July of 2020.
Just so that I understand, because I'm not following this, what is transcripts? Because normally I would think that if you have your CV and you have a work certificate, it should be enough.
No. So if you want to work as a teacher up here, or even just to start, you need to show them how many credit hours do you have. Like you've got a bachelor's degree. I've completed my bachelor's degree. So they need a proof of that.
Okay.
So our bachelor's degree in India is like 3 years, but in US, they need a 4-year bachelor's degree. So you need to show them like every subject that you take holds a percentage of credit hours. So you need to show them, or rather you need a proof of that. So I had to get all my degrees and everything converted into like one document, which they wanted from the Pune University.
Okay.
So when you have the minimum requirement, then I could start working, and then I could finish off my 4-year degree up here with them.
I see.
But anyways, with that whole long delay, it took me like over 8 months. And by the time I got my transcripts, the school was not hiring anymore.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah. So 8 months was again a long time. And then once I got my work permit, like within 2 or 3 months after that whole delay. Now again, I don't want to go back to Walmart because I'm like, no, I'm done with Walmart. No, I'm not going back there. But with just that little background in the retail business, I picked up a better job at Target, which is another retail store up here. It's another chain. it's the same retail chaos, but a little more organized than what it was at Walmart. So at Target, I was the team lead for food and beverage.
Mhm.
So it included all the groceries, Starbucks, Pizza Hut, all of that.
Mhm.
So working at Target was like another good experience and bad, but I learned a lot of things up there.
Mhm.
I didn't enjoy it much. That's a different story. But I did learn a lot of things. Like I became a trained barista. I can make you a nice Starbucks coffee if you want whenever we meet next. So that's something I learned. Then customer service, how to really deal with customers. Like when people come up to you with so many complaints and all of that. Like
Mhm.
I used to walk with my store director and everything. So it was just beautiful, like, and amazing how they really train you and how Target really invests in shaping up their leaders.
Mhm.
So it was just amazing. But as I said, like I just felt like retail wasn't really a part of me or something that I wanted to really do.
Okay.
So I continued working and struggling up there. But meanwhile, I was like, because all this, the transcripts was also in process, getting my
So all
transcript
this
from my
was in 2000.
2019. Yeah, from
And
2019 December
Mhm.
till
Right.
2020 of July.
During the COVID year, you were working in Target.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Because
And how
retail
was
was a boom
that?
at that time.
Oh, yeah, because because of the shortage and all. But there was no
Yeah.
lockdown that time.
No. So COVID actually hit US in like probably March time frame. So
Mhm.
March 13, they announced the lockdown,
Mhm.
but retail stores never closed down. Never. We were open full time.
Okay.
So I think I took a break for like just 2 weeks because that was the initial, like, because nobody knew what was COVID, like what was really happening.
Right.
Kids were home, my husband was home. We were like, okay, let's just take a break for 2 weeks. Let's just understand what's going on.
Mhm.
But those 2 weeks of April that I took off, since then, it's like each and every day that I was working. Like I've seen people like literally fight in front of me for that one pack of toilet paper and that last pack of, bath tissue rolls, like literally pulling it out of each other's hand, and those fight over sanitizers.
Really? But why? Was there not sufficient stock? Did they not have any assurance that it's going to be restocked and tomorrow it will be available?
No, no. Initially, there was no assurance
Okay.
because people really didn't know, right? Like what was coming, what was happening, or is there going to be like a severe lockdown?
Okay.
So
Okay.
they were just stocking up like crazy on anything and everything they could see.
Now people panicked. Okay.
Yes, people were like completely panicked. And we had to literally, like every morning before we opened the store, we had to put out a sign up there. Like today, okay, we've got this on the truck. Today, we've got this on the truck. And with the count,
Mhm.
because people would just come barging at you. Like they
Mhm.
were really not bothered that, okay, these people are working so hard. Like where everything else is shut down, these retail stores, which are really running, they're not like having that mask on, pushing those heavy boxes out, stocking up those shelves.
Mhm.
So at least at that time, Target gave us an option like, okay, if you don't want to be between people, we'll start working in the night where you can come in. They split the whole team into two. Like
Right.
one group would work in the night, one group would work in the morning. So that
Mhm.
way you don't have to really be between people. But
Mhm.
the customers, they really did not care about all these things. There were very few people who would just come up to us and say that, thank you for stocking the shelves.
Mhm. Wow.
It was just a different phase.
So not much appreciation in the job, but at least the job choice was correct. Because if you're working in school, the schools would be closed all throughout. So I think it worked out for you.
Yes. I mean, yes and no. But yeah, I mean, I just feel happy that during that whole pandemic situation, like I was able to help out people or, just be of some kind of help to
Yeah,
them.
be involved in an activity or a field that is helping people. That's amazing.
Yes, because Target did amazing things. Like they had these COVID runs. We would send out bagged canned foods and everything. for shelters where people were,
Mhm.
did not have enough food or, medicines and all of that. So
Mhm.
Target believes in a lot of charity. So we
Mhm.
did a lot of those drives.
Mhm.
It just made me feel good that, it is something's working out.
That's nice. That's wonderful. And then what next?
Yes. So while working at Target and then through a family acquaintance, I met with a family who has a family-owned business up here. They've been running that business for the past 32 years, and they were looking for an office manager. So, which is something completely new again. So
Mhm.
no background with retail. So they are into shipping and logistics and more like a freight forwarding thing.
Mhm.
So I was like, I don't know. I was in a fix again. I'm like, should I leave the retail, which I'm really not happy about anyways. Transcripts abhi tak aaye nahi hai. I don't know what to do. Should I wait for the school thing to happen? Or should I give this a try?
Mhm.
But then again, my husband jumped in. He's like, no, go ahead. You can do it. You've done all these different things. Even this will work out. So then I quit Target this May of 2021.
Mhm.
And then I joined this family business. And I'm working with them for the past 6, 7 months now. And I'm so happy I took that decision. I'm really happy because it's something that I like. I'm enjoying it. And I am learning like something new each and every day. And it's a completely new field. It's given me a lot of flexibility, and I found my love back for dancing. I found my love back for crocheting. I have all the time to do all of the things that I love.
Mhm. What is this job about? I missed that out. So what is this business
Yes, so
thing?
we are into logistics, end-to-end logistics. So we have cargo coming from India, and then we deliver it to our customers here in US. So
Mhm.
just managing the whole start to end point of it.
Right, right. Okay.
Yes. So, I mean, it's fun. It's just dealing with new people and then, setting up your new clientele base, understanding what they really need, and then passing it on to our team in India and then having all of that arranged for them.
That's really nice. That's really nice. I'm saying that's really nice because it's so, when I listen to you, it's so rich, this experience. And like, that you worked in the school, then you worked in the supermarket, and you worked in the logistics part of it, and now you're working in this. And it's so diverse actually. It's really nice.
Yeah, all of them have been so different. Yeah, I've even worked at a convenience store. So, I mean, it was a very short time frame, but yeah, it's all like none of my jobs have been interconnected or had anything to do into, or rather, there wasn't much experience which I could carry forward. I mean, I would say yes, from retail, the customer service that I learned from there, yes, I can
Mhm.
carry it forward to the present job that I'm doing.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's all been very, very different.
I'm sure that the skill sets that you did pick up actually were transferred, because the fact that you were working in Target and even at Walmart, involved in team planning and reporting and a little bit of logistics in Target, I would say.
Mhm.
And now where you are working, it's entirely based on planning and logistics, because actually logistic is full of planning. You cannot do
Correct, correct.
logistics
No, no,
without
no,
planning.
truly.
So I think, like, it's sort of like it
Yeah, I
adds
mean, some
nothing.
dots that I can
Nothing in
connect.
life is a waste. Like everything you do, you can do it, unless
Yes.
it's literally like, you've been in arts and then you've switched to science, or you've done, like, something completely drastically contrary. But this is not the case. It's just small continuations, and I see small dots that are
Yes, 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 yes. No, I mean, yeah,
so now
I would
you
say
can
that
work out of home. You can go in there when it's required. You're not in a lockdown.
yeah, I mean, it's just that I feel nothing is a waste. Every day you're learning something new, which you just carry forward with you. And then it's up to you how you use it.
Right. Right. So tell me, what were your best experiences in some of these jobs? So tell me your best experience as a teacher, your best experience in Walmart and in Target, like some incident, because you cannot be working at a supermarket without having some funny incident with a customer. And I want to hear about it. So
Oh my
let's
God.
start first with school. What was like the best
Yes.
experience in school?
So at school, I think the best experience, or rather the best feeling, was when you have get those small notes from your students. You know, just those small cards and, you know, those thank you notes that they would just bring in.
Mhm.
Like at the end of the day, you just feel that, no, you know, you've made a change in somebody's life. You've touched somebody's heart.
Mhm.
And especially when you're working with those elementary kids. I wouldn't talk about the fifth, sixth, and all those, the middle school and the high schoolers, but just getting those love notes from all these elementary kids was very, very heartwarming.
Wow.
So that is one memory that I have of school, or rather teaching at school, which I really cherish.
Okay.
Working at Walmart,
Is not much of a memory, but funny incident. Tell me some funny incident.
funny incidents. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people. Yeah, actually, not Walmart. I mean, that's fine. We can just leave Walmart aside.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't anyways very happy of this. So yeah, I can tell you
Okay, at
incidents about
Target.
Target. Yes, Target. So Target, as I said, because I had all these Starbucks, I had Pizza Hut, I had the whole food area under me and all. So my days would be really crazy because with
Sounds
COVID,
so yummy.
like, yeah, so with COVID, you know, a lot of people didn't want to come into work because they were scared or anything, you know. And then like you have your trucks coming in every day. So you have a target that you have to finish that truck. I mean, a truck as in you have so many, you have all this cargo coming in. So you have to
The
complete
unloading.
this. The
Mhm.
next day you have another truck.
Mhm.
And then with having like 3 departments under you, like
Mhm.
some days it would be like an hour I'm making coffee at Starbucks. An hour I'm at Pizza Hut selling pizzas. 2 hours I'm like, you know, opening up boxes, stocking up shelves. And then later in the day, and Target is like very, very organized. They need your numbers, like, you know, your daily percentages. What's your sale? What are your comps? How are you doing in your area? So we would have these daily walks, either our store director or we would have these district-wide directors, you know, who would come to your store. So there was days when I would be doing all these things, like running around like crazy, you know, with papers and everything. And then in between, you have these customers calling up. Your employee didn't make my coffee well. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. You know, the next time when you come into a store, you know, we'll have a gift card ready for you. So people really used to do that, you know, Monica. They would just complain because Starbucks has a policy. If you have a bad review, you know, you want to take care of that guest. So we would just, you know, hand them over like a $5, $10 gift card for Starbucks or just a Target one. So people would literally do that. Like they would just complain to get those
Like they
gift
would
cards.
create stories which are not true, or it
Yes.
was really happening, and instead of just being adjusting about it, they would bring it up. Which one was it?
No, like some people would really make up stories.
Okay.
And then some people were very picky with TikTok. Like you have all these Starbucks drinks on TikTok where people mix in like 12, 15 different kind of things. And then you come to Starbucks, you know, which is like Target. The Starbucks that are inside Target are not huge stores like a standalone Starbucks store. So we were like a much smaller one. And then our baristas are, we would have like 3 or 4 people in there. And then you shoot like, then there's a long queue and then you shoot them like 15 things. Oh, I want this. I want 1 drop of this and then 1 pump of this. And then when they taste it, like obviously, you know, when you are adding so many different things, like we would offer that, please just taste if your drink is fine. No, my drink is not fine. And you're making that barista make your drink 10 and 15 times. And then you get mad and then you just leave.
Wait a minute. They have the right to ask you to make it again and again by giving
Yes.
you 1,000 ingredients?
Yes.
That's just
Yes.
too much freedom in America. If it's India, we would just slap them and be like, take this and be grateful and go. Like,
No. We would remake their drinks.
wow.
Yeah, we would. So I know, I mean, some people are appreciative. And on the other side, you also have like some people who are so appreciative. Like once I just remember helping out a guest, like she wanted something and it wasn't on the shelf. I went to the back room, looked it up for her. Or when we would get our food deliveries, like the frozen and the milk, or something of the dairy products basically. So we would get like tall, huge tall pallets, like 8 and 10 feet tall pallets. So food, like the boxes would just be stacked up. So, just found out the product and brought it out to them. So they would really go up to my store director and tell, no, this is the team member who really helped us out. So there were those kind of incidents also. And there were some people who were just knick-knack. They just love doing that. We had like all mixed.
And what would you say is something that you have learned as a life lesson from all of these different jobs and your journey through these different jobs? What are the life lessons that stand out the most for you?
I would say the best one is just be yourself. Like just follow your instinct. Like you are going to meet all different kind of people, and there's just going to be some who are going to appreciate you, some who are not going to, but just do what you feel is the right thing. Just follow your instincts.
That's nice. So then now, what kind of space are you in now, and who are you looking to connect with?
Well, I'm in a happy space right now. I can totally tell you that. Yes, I have joined up a dance group again. So, and yeah, I mean, we have all of these different performances or everything, So like probably every 3 or 4 months we have
Tell us more about it. What kind of dance is it that you're passionate about?
It would all be more about like we are into folk dances. Like not very not a specific type or something. And it's just a group of mothers. So we are not all professional dancers. We just dance for fun.
Yes, but it's amazing. Tell me, what kind of dance is that?
No, I mean, so we have this Gujarati Samaj up here. So they hold like an annual on during Holi. They hold like annual, an annual day kind of a thing, where people all around from Detroit area, Michigan area, they would come and they would just perform and up there. So we perform up there, and then we
With
have
Indian dances.
like last year we did on Ghumar. So it's just a different class or just folk dance, basic.
Folk dance.
Classical
Okay.
or
Indian
folk
folk
dance.
dance. Okay.
Yes, Indian folk dance.
Okay. That's amazing. You remind me of this. There's this movie. Have you seen it? The Mommies?
No, I haven't.
Is it called The Mommies? I need to check on my Netflix. I saw it. It's a Spanish movie because I've recently started trying to get back to Spanish. So it's, I don't know whether it's an English movie dubbed in Spanish, but it's about these mothers who get together and in every day they have their dance class, and how there's a son who is integrated into this. It's a lovely movie, but the concept is this, that these hobby class that we can have can actually be lifesavers. That there are people who can quit smoking because of a certain hobby. There are people who can escape or get out of a toxic atmosphere for a couple of hours and be involved in something extremely positive for just a couple of hours. So certain hobby classes which normally would not be considered as something so important is actually something that contributes so much to the happiness of people, and especially mommies, because mommies need to get need to get out and have something for themselves, some time for themselves, and just some activity that they enjoy doing, which will reboost them and put back in a lot of energy and good energy that they can go back and distribute in their household. And the movie is about this dance. So when you said that it's just a dance, I want to tell you that no, I perfectly understand how this dance class could be a passion that is really nourishing you at the moment. And
yes, no, totally. I totally agree with everything that you said. We all need, like, I mean, not just mothers, even the fathers do, but we all need that space to just be ourselves or just get everything out. And you can just do it with things that you enjoy doing. Like I
Right.
find my peace in dancing. I find my peace in crocheting. Like crocheting gives me so much pleasure.
I wanted to ask you that have you picked that up? Because in school you were the only one who I remembered used to really do it well, do it herself, because I used to give mine to my mom. Okay. And my mother, who normally is pretty much against doing any kind of homework for the kid, like she would never do a homework. For crocheting, she's like, okay, never mind, I understand. It's an activity which is not gonna get you anywhere in life. I'll do it and you focus on your studies. And she would put me like, she would let me do that. But I remember you did it so well, and then you used to be always ahead of the class because those who had finished sweaters would sort of start the socks, and then there was a muffler. And I was on my sweater throughout the year. Like I didn't try to even after giving to my mom because my mom was also a working woman, so she would just do whatever she could. So it wasn't finished at all. And you used to like you were already on the entire daily set, I think, when you when we were in school. So,
Yes, yes, I love doing like anything related to arts and crafts was something that really amazed me. And I am so happy to just get back to it now, like after
yeah.
so long. So yes, I have got back to crocheting and I mean, you won't believe I never crocheted for my kids, like neither of them. Oh,
I
I've
cannot
crocheted.
believe this, Suhani. I really cannot believe those 6 years you were sitting at home. You could have done that.
Monica, I wasn't sitting at home. I wasn't.
Okay.
No, I mean, you have to remember my kids are just exactly a year apart. So I wasn't sitting
Yeah,
at
yeah,
home.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
No, yes, but I haven't. I mean, but finally I did. Like after so long, I crocheted them hats, winter hats, because Michigan winter is like crazy. So yes, I've got back to crocheting. Yeah, whenever I get a chance, I do like probably on a weekly basis. I'll sit for some time. I dedicate it to my crocheting. So that's something I've got back to. Yeah, and then I'm teaching my daughter how to crochet. Maybe she likes it, but I don't know. I'm trying to teach it to her. I've got back to my calligraphy, which I love to do in school. So I really lost touch with it. But yes, I'm trying to get back in touch with my that. So I like everything that I used to really love doing. As I said, I'm in a happy space right now. And
Amazing.
I couldn't really ask for more.
I'm so glad. Is your work available on some page where we can follow your crochet work and your
No, actually,
calligraphy?
no, I don't post it anywhere.
You guys have to make an effort. I've been telling Arnima this, and now I'm telling you, all you creative people, because I also do a lot of art, and I put it on Instagram so that people can follow me and they can catch up because that's how half of my family knows what I've done on a weekend. Like, they see each week and they see me evolve and they know, like, and also it's nice to allow your friends to follow these hobbies, which can be what do you say, which can be showcased, because not all hobbies can be showcased, but anything with arts and crafts definitely deserves an Instagram page. So I would request you as well that do get on because I would love to see your craft works. And are you following mine?
On it, actually, I'm not that. What do you say? I'm not that active on Instagram. Facebook, yes, I do follow. That's when I just mentioned that
Uh,
I've seen all your artwork. So Facebook, yes, but
okay.
I'm not that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So get your accounts and put up stuff so I can follow you as well. That's
sure,
amazing.
sure. Yeah, I've got another hobby now. I learned how to bake.
Mm-hmm.
So as we are vegetarian, we don't eat eggs and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
my kids follow that. So I made it a point. I learned to bake just for them so
Mm-hmm.
that, they wouldn't feel left out. So
Mm-hmm.
apparently I am a good baker now. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something I learned over all these years. And yeah, so it's just great, learning all these new things and being able to get my own space,
Right.
get to refresh my mind, and also put on a lot of weight, eating all of that. So
That's amazing. Tell me from this regarding this vegetarian thing, was it difficult to be integrated in social groups? Is it difficult to be a vegetarian there?
Pennsylvania, yes, it was because I mean we did have few Indian friends up there. I wouldn't say no,
Mm-hmm.
but none of them were vegetarian. So there was a lot of pressure when we would meet socially that, you should allow your kids to have eggs. Like, everything has eggs. Why are you like rather feeling them left out or anything? I'm like, don't worry, I'm not going to have my kids feel left out. Like, I would make sure that every party we attended, I had baked something for them. They had something to eat.
Yeah.
So as I said earlier that, I was really happy to be home with them because over those years, I was able to put all those values in them.
Right.
Like, at least I feel like whatever I grew up with, even if my kids get 5 or 10% of that and they retain it, like for them, I feel it's more important just to understand why, then you decide what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want you to follow it because I follow it. I want you to choose what you want to follow. But these are the reasons why we do it. Then you make your choices.
That's so, this just reminds me of my mom, and I have to share this that I'm also vegetarian from a completely vegetarian family, Brahmin family. And my mom used to actually cook omelets, for me and my sister when we were kids. And she used to make the omelets with the onion and coriander and really nice, But I never liked the taste of it. And at some point, I just stopped. Like, the minute I started really understanding the taste, like to my own body, I stopped immediately and I couldn't take it. And my sister, she continued for some time. And she didn't force it on us, but she was just like, take it because I don't want to tomorrow be responsible if you have any deficiencies, but I'm going to be a vegetarian. Like me and your dad are vegetarians. So I'm just giving it to you because I don't want to be responsible. But both me and my sister were like, no, this is it. We don't want this. And then we just, we continued being veg. And it's perfectly fine because we are perfectly healthy. And yeah, I think it's the only thing, as you say, in parties, when you go to parties or cocktails, many times I end up paying crazy amounts for cocktails in which I'm not eating shit. And it is so annoying that people don't consider that there are vegetarian people. So all these event management people out there, please, 50% of your menu has to be vegetarian because 50% of the cost also is paid by us. So like really it should be something that should actually be mandatory, but you can't. It's just people.
But I think now it's evolving with a lot of vegan, people who are turning vegan and everything. Like I would say like 10 years back when we moved to US, we really didn't have a lot of vegetarian options or something. But now with people turning vegan, there are, they do consider it. Like if there are 10 things on the menu, you would at least have 2 things which are vegan.
Yeah. I mean, because of the vegan, I got saved in Barcelona and a lot of places where I found these amazing vegan restaurants or like eating outlets, which would have great food packages. So it's not like, contrary to what people feel that it's salad or something, they would have this really filling lunch with a nice smoothie and everything. And after that, you're so full that this is amazing. So yeah, I think it's something that should be encouraged. But I was more interested in knowing how people react because even here, for example, there was an Indian. Most of the Indians are not vegetarian. And whenever I have met some initially, there has been one who was actually offended with me. I think it was a lady. She was a woman. No, there were two men, and they were annoyed because they were like, "Why are you not eating non-veg or smoking or drinking?" Because we went out, so they wanted to order a drink, they wanted to smoke, and they wanted to eat non-veg. And I said, "You can do all of those things, but I'm not interested." And they were like, actually, like they couldn't believe it. They thought that I was faking it because I'm a girl and trying to be an Indian girl. And I'm like, no, you fools, this is my preference. And they're like, they just couldn't get over it. And I'm like, wow, because nowadays it's so difficult to find an Indian who doesn't, who's vegetarian or doesn't do those things that when I see you talk about it, I can completely relate to it. And yes, it's an effort.
Yeah, so in Pennsylvania, it was difficult, as I said, because we did not have, anyways, Indians were less. And like even those less, like not all everybody was vegetarian. In Michigan, it's much easier because we have like a big JAIN community up here. We have like literally 200 to 500 families just in the area. So for my kids also, like in Pennsylvania, they would be like, oh, we are the only ones who really don't, who are vegetarians or who don't eat egg. Because when they would go to school, I would have to give restrictions to the teachers. Like I would send special candies with them so they don't feel left out when they get candies. Like, birthday candies in school. So I didn't want them to feel left.
Anyways, have all sorts of trash
Yeah.
in the market. So it's whether you're vegetarian or not, it's good to ban. But go on.
Yeah. So I mean, it's much easier now here in Michigan, where they have people who are like them, or where they understand that, it's not just us. We have more people like us.
So it reinforces the requirement of community, the importance of community in our lives, no matter how much we become individualistic or grow into nuclear families. Maintaining certain lifestyles as well, you need communities who adhere to that lifestyle. Otherwise, logistically also it's not going to be possible. Like if there was no Indian community in Abidjan, Africa, here in Ivory Coast, I would not have probably got any Indian
Correct.
spices or anything. That one Indian, two, three Indian shops that are there were not there. I wouldn't have been able to maintain a certain diet that I would like to maintain. I definitely would have found alternatives and, become one of those really, how do you say, the not the vegan, but very modernized recipes of vegetarian recipes. But thanks to them, I can just have my dal chawal and rajma as well, exactly the way it's meant to be, without trying to change
Without
it.
compromising on the taste.
Exactly. So yeah, I can understand. Oh, it's nice. It's nice to hear that. Is there any project that is close to you and that you're passionate about at the moment that you want to talk about, or any cause that you want to talk about?
I mean, currently, the project that I'm passionate about is I'm really looking forward the new business that I'm learning. At least in the next 2 years, I plan to start something on my own. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to. Other than that, just continuing with my hobbies. I mean, and just enjoying it.
That's nice. That's nice. So as I do at the end of all my podcast, is to share memories that I have of the other person. But yours is pretty much something I shared in the beginning, because the only memory I had of you was the girl in school who would knit, and be ahead of everybody in the knitting class. I didn't really have much interaction with you one on one as such to have any memories which are created. But that is what I remember of you. That's someone who's like entirely involved in the crafts more than the arts, the crafts. And yeah, it's good to see that you have picked that up again. I'm sure that it will bring you much happiness, and good to see what you've become into after all these years.
Yes, no. I really want to say that to everyone, that like how Roma mentioned that meditation gives her peace. Like we all should really make that effort. I know we are like always running on the clock, always we have deadlines to finish, but please just take those 5 minutes, take those 10 minutes out and do something that you really like. You will not imagine how much happiness it's going to give you.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very important for us to just find that one thing, like even singing, just simple singing, like even a bathroom singing is fine, but take that time out for yourself. We all
I would just
really,
add to that okay, if it's something as silly as bathroom singing, give it some dimension as well. Like, if you take an activity, give it
yes.
some dimension, like push it, because I feel that somewhere that all creative activities actually are meant to be brought to a finishing, a
Mm-hmm.
finishing. So I'm sorry, I'm confusing French words. So I was going to say finition. So finishing. And so I feel like if you're painting, then, paint on a good quality paper, just buy one
Mm-hmm.
sketchbook of good quality and put up the pictures, like, bring it towards something. If you're doing some craft work, use good materials and make it, and you can even sell it or just gift it to your friends or family, but bring it up to a finishing state that you can do something with it. like, so even if it's singing after your bathroom, try to also look up what is, what it- what could be. You can do a karaoke singing or whatever, like, in each activity that you do, I would say that somewhere we are at an age where we somewhere have the obligation to give uh, a sort of maturity check to it. Like, for example, I'm into coloring, but there's what is adult coloring and there's what is children coloring. And you are obliged to do adult coloring, which requires a lot more work. It's a lot more effort, but at the same time, there's a finishing to it, with which you can even sell it. You can sell the electronic images. You can use that art on trays, or like food trays or anything, and you can do something with it. So basically, like, I would say that take up an activity and bring it to finishing. So I
Yeah.
would love to see a video of your folk dance, or to see a page of your work, because that is when it actually comes to the end public. And lots of artists, we say that we do things for ourselves, and we really do, because when you're doing that particular piece, you don't care. You're not thinking of putting it up anywhere. You're doing it for yourself. But somewhere, every art and craft, once it's finished, it's meant to be gotten to a public. It's
Hmm.
meant to be appreciated and seen by public, because that piece, like, I have this thing. I made this thing for my. It's a simple coloring,
Wow.
and I put my laptop mouse on it. Okay,
Oh,
that's what I use it for. But even something as simple as this, I can use it, I can gift it, and it's meant to be seen and used. If it's just closed somewhere on a shelf in a cupboard, I'm not doing justice to that art. You know? So same way, I think that I would love to see your folk dances, and
I'll work on
that,
it.
yeah, like you bring value to that activity. That is what we need to learn in India, because Indians are very, very creative, but we are not into finishing and we are not into marketing. Whereas the rest of the world, their content is very less, but their marketing and finishing is so good that they will be selling something for anything. And we have a lot of content, but we are too lazy to do anything about it. So I would like to just add to your message. Sorry I interrupted you by
No,
saying
no,
that.
no. That's perfect. I mean, see, it just adds a perspective, right?
Yeah, so that, yes, it's glad whatever Suhani is asking everyone, go ahead, but add a dimension to it where you can finally bring it to finish. That's all. So yeah, continue your message.
No, no, that's all I had. That's all.
Great, great, great. And tell me, have you been following the podcast, and how do you find them?
Oh, it's amazing just to hear how everybody's evolved. Like, I mean, I don't have a lot of memories with all the podcasts that I've seen, Shali, Rucha. I mean, I know them, but I haven't really spent a lot of time with them in school. But just
Mhm.
to hear the story,
Right.
it is just amazing. And it's been a long time, right? We all passed out in like 2001. We are
Mhm.
in 2021, 20 years. It's
Yeah.
just a very long time.
Yeah.
Like just to see Arnimal. I mean, I have great memories with Arnimal.
Mhm.
I mean, I even remember like before my wedding, I just bumped into her and I invited her for my Sangeet and she came over. So
Mhm.
it's that kind. And just to
Mhm.
hear where she is, it is just beautiful. Just to hear everybody's journey.
That's nice. That's nice. I'm really glad that you came forward, you volunteered, and thank you so much for that. And
Oh,
hopefully
thank you. I'm
tomorrow.
sorry I'm interrupting you, but thank you for motivating me and pushing me because
Yeah, we've
I
been
was really
giving
not
each
ready for
other
this.
dates for like months, and I'm putting on my calendar every time. Call Swani after 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I renew that to say another 2 weeks, call her again. And I'm just like calling you for reminding you. But I'm glad
No,
it's
so
finally
thank
material.
you. No, thank you for motivating and pushing me. So thank you. I really appreciate all your time for this. So thank you.
No worries. Thank you, everybody, and hope to see you guys next very soon. And let's all be in touch in very good energy.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.